A wolf lunged without warning. She fought, but the wounds were too severe. The others charged in, shouting, swinging, doing whatever they could to stop the attack. They brought that wolf down together. Nothing goes to waste out here. Its meat, fur, and fat will help keep the rest of the settlement alive through the cold ahead. And as the first real flakes of winter began to fall, the settlement feels its first loss of the season. Nature decided to strike first. This is the frontier, beautiful, demanding, and unforgiving. This is where our story continues. Welcome back to JupiterC, where cozy strategy meets real-world history. Today, we return to our settlement at the very start of winter, facing danger before the snow has even touched the ground. In episode 1, we built the foundations of our frontier town, the early shelters, the first work areas, and the basic structures that would keep our villagers alive. We explored the forests, set up hunting and foraging routes, and marked out the land where future homes and farms should go. But we also saw how quickly the frontier can turn against us. Wolves lurked near the tree line, resources were tight, and we were racing the seasons to prepare before winter hit. By the end of the episode, we faced our first death, a villager lost to the hardships of early settlement life. She lies shrouded outside the family shelter in vigil until the earth is ready to receive her. Still, the settlement grew strong. Food stabilized, shelters went up, and the people pushed forward with determination. Now as the first snow begins to fall, we begin episode 2. Here's what we need to accomplish today. Stabilize early winter operations. Finish the graveyard so we can lay our fallen villager to rest respectfully. Expand housing for new families, lay out the first farm plots, build essential production structures, manage predators. The wolves and bears are actively guarding their dens, thereby keeping everyone safe as winter truly begins. The snow hasn't stuck yet, but it will. The season is changing. The work begins now. As we step forward into the day, the snowfall starts to change. It's no longer a few scattered flakes drifting on the wind. It's thicker now, heavier, settling in patterns that tell us it's about to stick. In just a few moments, early winter is going to start painting the ground white. Let's take one last quick survey before the real cold sets in. The forager hut still isn't built, which is fine. Foraging in the season doesn't yield much anyway, and with the snow sticking, visibility on herbs and berries will drop even further. We elevated the saw pit in priority because of the cold months require more planks than you'd expect for upgrades and emergency builds. Better to get ahead of that. Interesting fact, in early settlements, heavy snow made accessing saw pits dangerous. Some communities built crude lean-tos or windbreaks around them to protect workers from the elements. Voyagers move through camp with their usual pace, but you can see them occasionally glance upward at the heavier snowfall. They know what this means. Once the snow begins to stick, everything slows down. Hauling, building, gathering, all of it becomes harder. And admiring the beauty of the snowfall, it marks the start of the true winter, dusting on the ground and rooftops, kind of like powdered sugar settling on the village. We've crossed the threshold. Now we can see tracks forming as villagers walk. Faint trails in the new snow. Their steps look heavier, more deliberate. Even a thin layer changes how the whole town moves. This is where winter starts to feel real, one footprint at a time. In real frontier settlements, the ground would harden within days once snow accumulated. Communities often rushed to finish graves before a frost because once the ground was frozen, burials became nearly impossible without fire pits or heated tools. Graveyard site still needs stone, but we're getting close. Let's focus on the mature trees again, the ones with at least 11 logs. Younger saplings stay even in winter. Sustainable forestry remains. More immigrants have arrived. Right as the snowfall thickens, they're stepping into a settlement that's preparing for winter in real time. Perfect timing and more hands for the work who desperately need help. Let's welcome them in. The hunter cabin is still pending. Once the ground whitens, tracking animals actually becomes easier. But construction slows. We'll need to decide whether to push this forward or shift priority. Select more mature trees by the hunter cabin. Forager, they have the villagers chopping mature trees in the new snow. Contrast between the falling flakes and the sharp swing of the axe is strangely soothing. In early winter, woodcutters often use the first days of snowfall to their advantage. Light snow reduced ground friction, making logs easier to drag on sleds or wrapped ropes. But once the snow deepened, hauling became exponentially harder. We need to get them housed immediately. Once the ground gets fully covered, construction time slows significantly. Let's shift our priority back to the shelters for now. We'll mark the nearby bushes and shrubs for clearing. As the snow begins to bury that vegetation, it's important to grab what we can before it's hidden. And here's the new shelter taking shape. The walls rising, beams locking into place, snow swirling around the workers. Quick notification, nothing urgent. Closing it. We'll stay focused on these shelters while momentum is strong. First winter building always feels like a small miracle. Good news, one of the new shelters is complete. That's one more family protected before the winter really settles. The timing couldn't be better. Our villagers are quarrying snow now, with snow slightly coating the work area around it. It's more slippery, but still manageable. The graveyard is close to completion, but with this layer of snow coming in, finishing is now critical. Back in the day, snow made stone extraction dangerous. Wet surfaces froze stone and workers' hands and made footing uncertain, but early snow was often preferred over deep winter, when everything froze solid. With one shelter done, we redirect manpower back to that saw pit. People in winter demand the market, and the market demands planks. And now the snow is fully settled. Soft wet layer covers the ground, rooftops, and work yards. It's not deep yet, but it's enough to leave footprints behind every step the villagers take. Winter has officially arrived, quiet, steady, and cold. We're starting to run low on logs again, even with the saw pit not running yet. Everything begins to slow once the snow really sticks. Let's check the tree harvest markers and ensure only mature trees are selected. With the ground starting to thaw, this is the perfect time to start planning out our farm plots. The soil might be too hard to till now, but the layout will hold until we have higher priority buildings up and work positions filled. Let's place our 4 6x5 farm plots first. They're small enough to manage, but yet large enough to feed families in the coming year. I should say coming years. I am going to place them side by side. I might move these further apart later for bee tending. I'll make that decision later. In medieval settlements, winter was the season for planting fields, not plowing them. Farmers would mark out plots, repair tools, and prepare compost. Because the moment that the spring thaw arrived, the planting window was incredibly short. Put the other 2 on this side. And then let's place a road through the middle of these plots so workers can move quickly from field to field. Do I want to rethink that? I think I counted them out right. Yeah, I'm good. Put that road in. Next, let's place the one big 12x5 plot. This could be for our higher yield crops, the beans, the wheat, maybe root vegetables. They thrive in the larger places. Let's put a gate. Put it here. And another one there. So when I place the fences in later, this will help keep the farm animals and the wildlife where they belong. If a deer tries to wander across the future farmland, at least it'll have to do it respectfully through the gate. I've neglected shoes and my people always let me know. In cold climates, medieval villagers often stuffed boots with straw for insulation. Simple, cheap, and surprisingly effective. The basket shot placed. More baskets mean higher carrying capacity, which means faster resource collection. Something we desperately need at the moment. Let's move the market to the top of the priority list. We'll place a few garden plots near the shelters. Do I want to place some medium-sized gardens here or place the large ones later? Even when buried under snow, these will increase desirability and make life feel less harsh. We'll place the 3x1s, I think, by the market side of the shelters for now. And then close the construction since they also cost gold and I have none. I'm so poor. A little beauty goes a long way in a brutal frontier. The graveyard is almost done. Only a few remaining stones to place. Burying our dead, this timing is important. Let's take a moment to review our inventory and the villager happiness. Food looks stable. Firewood is acceptable. Morale is holding, not amazing, but holding. The root cellar's in place. Given what we've already faced this season, I'll take it. We check the research tree. Spring is a good time to pick upgrades that ease production. Let's look at what is available before I choose. My first time actually looking through this new feature. Taxation seems desirable in the near future once the market is built. Hygiene is also important. The adjustable shoe research gives us a 25% reduction in time to produce. It's late April, maybe early May. The perfect moment for new growth, and you can feel it. Everything seems a little bit more alive now. The ground softens, the color returns, and our little settlement takes its first breath of spring. Our villagers suddenly look lighter on their feet. No snow pulling at their boots, no icy wind against their faces. This is a season when productivity rockets. I see this lake over here. Build a road to it, and then we're going to place some fishing shacks. Or at least one fishing shack from now. In medieval Europe, fishing was so important that many villages were legally required to keep a communal fishing net. The nets were often incredibly valuable, large enough that multiple families had to work together to operate them. In coastal towns, fishermen practiced shared fishing, where a day's catch was divided the same day among everyone who helped, including net makers, boat owners, and even villagers who hauled their fish from the shore. I like to place the foragers and the hunters together with the fishers. The graveyard is finally finished. Stones are set, the perimeter is clear. The ground is ready. That means we can finally move the fallen villager from the cabin to a resting place. Soon it will be a population of 1. She's the first loss to JupiterC Town. She'll be the first soul laid to rest in our settlement. I really only need a minimum of 5 laborers to run this size town, I believe. Yeah, 5. So I think I'm good on builders. Let's increase the saw pit. Let's place another hunter cabin down. There's plenty of deer in this area. Prioritize that. Move this hunter area to hunt the deer and the boar to protect the loggers. These planks are taking forever to produce thanks to the lack of logs. So the planks are so slow. Look at these villagers hard at work in their yards. There's a villager doing laundry in her yard. Finally able to wash clothes without frostbite. Medieval and frontier communities did laundry in early spring, specifically because frozen rivers thawed and clothes could actually dry. Before commercial soap was common, people used lye, made from wood, ash, and water to clean clothes. Laundry was so labor intensive that some villagers had designated wash days where multiple families worked together. We missed the funeral. The letter carrier missed my house. Early graves were often simple, a stone, a wooden marker, or even just a mound of earth. Communities gathered to honor the dead because morale depended on remembering the fallen. Harvest some more trees. Let's move this hunter work area into the wolf den to protect those lumberjacks and loggers. Maybe it will help. It will serve to help with the log production. The wildlife is waking up too. Deer are moving out of the forest. The boar is roaming again. Birds showing up near the water. Good news for food and good news for hunters. Still being built on this side. That road just went into place. Let's move this wagon for the fun of it. Let's check the saw pit's progress across winter. Decent production, but definitely slowed by the cold. Now that the snow's gone, we should see a big boost. The planks flowing again. Town center upgrades are getting closer. A villager is sick, dysentery this time, and that's our hunter. With all the running,
need anything?
Water drinking, exposure, hunters are always the highest risk. Dysentery is one of the most common killers in the medieval period. Contaminated water, poor sanitation, and warm temperatures created the perfect environment for outbreaks, especially in spring. So yes, we'll add a couple of wells near the hunter cabins and forager shacks. Cleaner water means fewer illnesses. Faster access means higher safety, especially since I don't have medical yet. Early settlements monitored water quality closely during the season. Settlements in the 1400s did not monitor water quality in the modern scientific sense, as the concept of waterborne pathogens, bacteria, and viruses were unknown. But people, however, were aware that some water sources were dangerous. That clear, fresh, flowing water from a good source or a deep well was generally safer than stagnant or marshy water. That wolf population is still low. The market is coming along nicely. Now the summer construction is always faster. Once built, that will boost happiness. I didn't move that far enough. Time to move some blueberry bushes. Creating this little blueberry garden near the forager hut will help us stock fruit faster. Once they grow, it always makes the area look like the forest version of a farmer's market. I scan the map for more wild berry bushes. With spring here, their colors make them easier to spot. And the hawthorns don't grow now, they grow at different periods. And we can't move the hawthorns. Look at that raider camp just slightly appearing through the map fog. Stay away from them till we have an army, I think. Summer always means it's a good time to salvage that archaeological site we found earlier. The ground isn't frozen and the materials are easy to extract. Found more berry clusters. Perfect. We'll bring these closer to the settlement. Domesticated berries produce more consistently. Most berries and vegetables in early settlements were first domesticated by simply transplanting wild plants closer to home. Medieval farmers didn't breed plants the way we think of today. They relocated the healthiest wild bushes and roots near their shelters, then observed which ones survived best. Over generations, the plants adapted to the new environment and became more productive, larger, and sweeter. This simple act of moving wild plants into human care is one of the earliest forms of agriculture. Long before European agriculture spread across the world, many indigenous cultures were already domesticating berries in sophisticated ways. Instead of planting seeds in neat rows, they practiced tending the wild, carefully managing the natural berry patches by pruning, thinning, selective burning, and transplanting the stronger plants. Over generations, this turned wild berries into larger, sweeter, more productive varieties. Let's place a tannery next. Fur coats aren't as urgent now, but come next winter, we'll be glad we built this early. Tanneries often operated hardest in spring because animals hunted in winter were processed once the temperatures warmed enough to dry hides properly. Considering future buildings like shrine, temporary shelters, while the spring and summer are our busiest seasons, it's also the best time to think about long-term plans. Shrines, shelters, and expansion zones. I also want to look at how everything is going on over here. Still building. Check what we need to upgrade the certain production buildings like the saw pit. These items will obviously be dug out and arrive later. Built and dug out. They're too far away to worry about now, but spotting them this early means one thing: they're scouting. The frontier never stays peaceful for long. Let's check that wolf population one more time. They're shifting deeper into the forest, probably avoiding the noise of spring construction, but they'll be back. The boars are active too, and those things hit like freight wagons. Signing hunters to this territory will help protect the villagers. I hope. Mark more mature trees for logging. We still need more lumber, so I'll mark a batch of large mature trees. We'll mass select bushes and shrubs as well. Small woods adds up when you're building multiple structures. And our hunter didn't make it. He passed away in that hunter cabin. We'll need to wait for a laborer to carry his body to the graveyard. This is the second loss our settlement has faced. Winter claimed the first and spring claimed another. I thought that man was going to haul the body off to the graveyard. Guess not. The deceased hunter is still inside. But a laborer will probably come and collect him soon enough.
What needs doing?
Frontier life is harsh, but each loss reminds us why building a secure settlement matters. Let's pull up the yearly report. Population growth is steady. Food production is strong. Wood production is recovering. We're moving in the right direction. We can reduce one firewood splitter. We have more than enough firewood and need those workers elsewhere. Wait, I just remembered I can set maximum and minimums. Must set the firewood max quota to 250, I think. This keeps things balanced while allowing workers to shift more urgent tasks. So I'll add one more worker back temporarily to maintain the momentum. Plank quota. Let's change that. $100. How much? Let's change it to 150. The spring and summer demands a ton of construction. Our blueberry garden near the forager hut is taking shape. The bushes will produce steadily over the year to arrive. The market is nearly finished. This will be a huge milestone, not just for the trade, but for happiness. And villagers will finally have better access to goods. There it is, knowledge gained. Our settlement grows, not just in size, but in understanding. And that brings us to the end of episode 2. We survived the first snowfall, built new shelters, planned out our farmland, completed the graveyard, expanded production, and overcame not one but 2 losses. Summer has arrived, and we're headed into autumn again. And when it comes opportunity, new dangers, and the first real chance to transform the settlement into a thriving town. Next time, we'll finish that market, survive another winter, begin our first planting season, set up the hunting routes, expand into the forest, and then prepare for whatever those raiders are planning. Stay close. The frontier is only getting started.